We rolling.
We rolling.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Episode 4.
Episode 4.
Episode 4 to sit down. We are here. We have 2 United States national teams women's players with us today. Madison Fulford. Is that correct? See, I got it right.
We got it right. We got it right.
Yeah.
Megan Edwards.
Ashley Edwards.
Ashley, dude, how I messed that up, dude?
Man.
Good thing it's pre-recorded.
How I messed that up? We're going to do that again.
Take 2.
Ashley Edwards. We have Ashley Edwards on the team today. Thank you guys for showing up.
Yeah, appreciate you
here with us
guys
today.
coming.
Yeah.
You guys have a big event this weekend. Also with us here, we have CT, part of the U.S. national team's recruiting process in the office from
Yes.
Indianapolis here.
Yes.
And then also a big name in women's flag, Nate.
Hey,
Big
guys.
dog Nate.
Oh,
Hey,
Shook
guys.
Nate.
Hey, guys.
Just Nate. Just Nate today.
No, it's Shook
Just
Nate.
Suge Nate.
Shook Nate.
Nate from Ohio.
I think
Okay,
that might
yeah.
From
stick.
Ohio. Dayton, Ohio.
Dayton, Ohio. Dayton,
Flyers.
Suge Nate.
So, ladies, first off, thank you guys for being on the show today. Miss Madison, if you don't mind starting off with just like telling the world a little bit about yourself, because you're kind of new, I guess you can say, to the 5-man flag world, new to the United States football team as well. So tell me a little bit about yourself. How did you get involved with this flag world?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Charlotte, North Carolina, but I'm in the military, and so I was playing on base a year ago, and this guy saw me playing, and he was like, "Hey, you should really go play with these girls," and I was like, "I'm not gonna go play with girls,"
Yeah.
because I didn't know this existed,
Mhm.
and so I was like, "Okay, I'll go check it out," and so I show up, and I was like, "Holy crap! Like there are some dogs out here. Like these girls are good,"
Yeah.
and ever since then I've been hooked. So I've just hit my year in January,
Gotcha. Now, what position do you play?
wide receiver and DB.
Wide receiver and DB. All right. Did you play like college or anything like that? Or it was just like on
Any
base
sport
type deal?
background?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any sports.
Yeah, so I played basketball for 15 years, and then I ran track in college.
Gotcha.
Yep.
What? 400.
400 hurdles.
Okay, I was close.
Okay.
I was close.
Okay.
I would have never thought the hurdles, but yeah, I was
Yeah.
close.
Yeah.
Okay, and Ashley.
Oh, I feel like I've been playing forever now. I did play in college, intramurals, but we traveled for state nationals. We went to Florida for nationals as well. So I guess I've been playing for about 8 years, but competitively with FFWCT and such for a little over a year. So my first Worlds was not this Worlds, but the 2022 Worlds. So a little over a year ago, I was introduced to this world. There's like 500 or more teams out there every
Yeah.
year.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was a crazy experience. So I'd say competitively for a little over a year.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I've seen you play with Lights Out. Was there another team you used to play for prior to Lights Out?
Kind of been all over the place. I have a team in San Antonio with some of my best friends called She Unit, La She Unit.
Oh, yeah, that's where I've seen you
Mhm.
play.
yeah,
Unit. Yeah.
So
with-
played with She Unit, and then in Dallas, I played with Lights Out for the first time, and you were there. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Gotcha.
We got the video highlight.
I do.
Yep.
I do.
Yeah.
remember. That's why I remember her from like catching a pass somewhere,
Yeah.
like
Right.
on a
I always
highlight that I
say,
did.
I always say, Daryl, he gives and he takes, because in the next tournament, you had this amazing picture of someone catching on me, and I was like, this
Oh
guy.
man, my
I
bad.
thought we were close. This
Give it
guy.
Hey, my bad. I got you next tournament. I got you. Well, tomorrow. I got you tomorrow. How about that?
Love it.
So what made you both want to be a part of the USA football?
You want me to go?
Yeah.
All right. So as soon as I heard about it, I was like, I want that. I didn't even know what it was. It's just something came over me, and I was like, I want to be at that top level. But then once I saw the USA girls and the bigger message behind all of it, like growing women in sports, growing women in football, and then seeing like the Fury girls and all of them, I think it's a lot bigger than just playing for the United States. It's playing
Mhm.
for all the little girls out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maddie, let me follow up with that. So
Dope.
we saw you at Lynn Lewis.
Mhm.
Walk us through like what that was like for you, just that entire tournament. 'Cause again, extremely competitive, so many good teams. So walk us through like Lynn Lewis and how that entire process was for you.
So I think we all knew that USA was going to be there, but we didn't really know who they were, or I didn't know who they were or what to expect. And so I was just kind of playing, and I ended up getting like super in my zone in 8s, and I was like, oh, I'm about to go off in 5s. Like, I'm going to dominate right now. And
you
so,
Yeah.
so
Proceeded to do just that.
shout out to D, because she probably will only throw to me. It doesn't matter if I'm in triple coverage. You can put everybody on me. She's still going to throw it to me. And so in that game that you guys watched, it was like post routes, go routes. I was just scoring the whole time. And then I look over and I was like, holy crap, there's 5 USA people sitting on the sideline. I was like, I completely forgot y'all were at that tournament. And I was like, well, that's good, I guess. And then Nate comes over there and grabs me. He's like, hey, somebody wants to talk to you. And I didn't know what to say. I was so nervous and starstruck. But yeah, it was fun.
No, you definitely went off that tournament.
That
So
was fun.
great job.
Thank you.
And then, what about your road, Ashley? I know that, like I said, you've played in Tampa, you've played in Charlotte, you've played in Chicago during those circuits. What was that experience like to get you to this point?
It was a long one. So my first Worlds, I happened to play against what was mostly Team USA at the time. So I played Academy and Sevens, and I was playing with Pure H2O, and we're just a bunch of people that don't play a lot of tournaments, but it was my first major one, and just something came over us, and we got the win over them. And my teammates happened to tell me that there was Team USA, or those were players from Team USA, and it was the first time I had ever heard of it. I didn't know it existed, and I think from that moment, I knew I wanted to be a part of it, or I wanted to see if I had what it took to be a part of it. So, I started to get in touch with those players and you, Nate, and just how do I put myself out there? How do I advocate for myself? Or how do I, see where I stand? So it started with Texas tournaments because that's obviously a little bit easier for travel purposes, but it was really important for me to get to Charlotte and Chicago at the time. Charlotte, I had pulled my quad really bad like a week before, but still, pushed through just to be a part of it, and still took away so many lessons about myself and things I could work on. So then Chicago came, and even that got a little bit better. And then I think that, continuing to play league play and again, local tournaments. And then by the time Worlds came around, I just had a lot of confidence going into that. And I feel like that was really just a complete 180 from my first Worlds experience. I felt confident. I knew you end up kind of knowing some of the teams you're playing, which helps in terms of like a defensive strategy and things like that. But yeah, it's been full circle. It's been a lot, but ultimately I'm so thankful for that, because going into trials, that was a whole other experience in terms of the talent you're going up against and such.
Yeah.
So I'm happy I'd had that whole year to continue growing and continue being a student of the game.
Let me pivot off that too, because you both had an incredible trials this past year. That's why you made the team. But actually specifically for you, what was it like leading up? What was your training regimen leading up into trials? I know that you were going pretty hard, so I want that.
I went a little crazy. 2 months prior to trials, I decided to get a strength and conditioning speed coach, and we really focused on speed and explosiveness and things of that nature. And then Madison messages me because she's just as excitable as I am about this, and so she was like, "Hey, I have a wide receiver coach, I have a DB coach. Let's train." And I'm already training with someone else. I'm like, let's do it. So
2 coaches.
Yeah, I had 2 coaches. One 7 a.m. 3 times a week, and then we were meeting with ours 3 times a week in the evening.
Yes.
So who are those coaches' names? Shout out the coaches.
Shout out to Ali.
Yeah, and Coach Juan from D1 training.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, so one more time. Tell us the regimen, and you said 3 times a week in the morning and then 3 times a week in the evening as well?
And that is just with the trainers. So there's still gym sessions, and
Love
then
it.
I mean, NFL Combine events are completely new for
right.
women, right? So learning an L drill, learning a 3-point
Different
stance,
movements, right.
just completely. Yeah, my wife, I would take her out. We have a joke that she's HPT, my head personal trainer, because she would just.
Yeah.
It was how we spent time together, was going out to the local football field and just me trying to figure out how to do these combine drills.
I must say, hats off to you both, because the training that you guys did obviously paid off. But to everybody that's listening and watching this show, understand that this is no game. This is real. You got to really, really, really go in and go hard if you want a shot to play for our team. So hats off to both of you, because I know that was not easy.
Yeah.
Come and prove it.
Gotta prove it.
Come and prove it.
So CT, let me ask you this then. With the men and the women, there's 48 men, 48 women. How many of them thought they can just show up and say, "Hey, this is who I am. I don't have to train like Ashley or Madison, and I'm going to get this, and I'm going to make the 18 just because of what I've done in the past, or, I'm having one good day in trials." So what's your message to those people?
I mean, I would say, again, you can't get complacent. right?
Yeah.
No different than any NFL team, any competitive sports team. Every single year, you're looking to add better pieces to make your team better.
Mm-hmm.
So to those folks that didn't prepare, I mean, again, you likely weren't one of the 18 that were selected.
Yeah.
This is something that we're taking extremely serious. And again, this year from last year going to Chula Vista to this year at Charlotte, it was a step up in class, and you could tell through and through majority of the athletes. So again, this is something that obviously everyone takes very, very serious.
Yeah.
And moving forward, it's just going to be even tougher, right? People understand that the bar has been raised, and you got to either raise your competition or get left behind. So get right or get left.
Yeah. And you both have real life jobs. So how do you balance the real life responsibilities that you have versus the flag football aspirations that you have? How does that work out?
Well, I'm in the military,
question.
so they're fully supportive of the USA team, so they let me kind of do whatever I want.
Wow.
So that works out for me very well. Other than that, I just tell him where I need to go and when. He's like, okay, you can have free leave. All right, I'm out.
So
Okay.
are you on active duty?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I was
That's
going to
dope.
ask that
Yeah, yeah.
because I
Awesome.
know
Shout out to
anything. I come from a military background.
Mhm.
And anything that had to do with the United States, my grandpa was like, "You got to go do that."
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope.
What branch?
Chair Force.
Okay.
Chair force.
The Chair Force. Yep. And I
Okay.
do have a chair job.
Okay.
Yep.
What about you, Ashley?
I do have, the typical 8 to 5, but it's a demanding job, and I have both aspirations there and on the field playing flag football. So it was really just about that perspective of wanting both and making time for both.
Okay. And CT talked about you guys had you both ladies had a good trials. I know that anytime you're there, you say, "Well, I wish I would have did this. I wish I would have did that." Talk about the positive experience from the trials, so then that way the next year, those people listening can say, "Hey, well, this is what I should anticipate." So, like, obviously, you came in Thursday, so just walk us through your whole weekend, that Thursday to getting back to the airport on that Sunday.
Honestly, I blacked out. I don't even remember because I was just so nervous. I think we got there. Okay, I actually want to tell a really funny story because so the day we get there, we had to go to the orientation, right?
Yeah.
Ashley texts me. She's like, "Hey, can you give me a ride?" And I was like, "Yeah, totally." I go pick her up, and it's literally across the street. And I'm like, "You couldn't walk? Like, what is this?"
I didn't map it.
I was like, "All right." So she gets in the car. We are in there for literally 0.10 seconds.
Yeah.
And we get out of the car, and I was like, "I'm not giving you a ride back."
She did, though.
Yeah, it was funny. But anyways, past that, it was super nerve-wracking. It was really cool to be around so many good women. Like, there were a lot of faces I recognized, and then there were some that I didn't, like the college girls. And then there's some girls who look like I don't even know if they could be good or whatever. You have no idea. And they balled out. Like, it was so many girls there that you just wouldn't even expect to be that elite, and they were just balling. It was crazy to see. It was super cool.
Quick question. Now, was there at any point in time where you feel like kind of like intimidated, like you feel like you might not be good enough based off the women you saw there?
Oh yeah, I left. I didn't think I made the team.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
my first day was super hard. Well, not the combine part, but being on the field. I had Vanita, so I'd never played with Vanita before, and that's the USA quarterback, right?
Right.
So it's like you have to be perfect for her. Like you have to ball out. I was dropping passes in warm-ups, and I was like, this is not going to be a good day. And so at one point, I left and went to be DB. I was DB probably more than half of the time there, and that was not very fun for me. And then after that, I got a pick six, or like an extra point pick or something like that. And then I caught a post, and I started getting back into my headspace, and I was like, okay, I'm good now. But I still left. I was like, did I do enough? Because that's how hard it is there. Like, everybody's so good. You almost have to be 80%, 90% perfect the whole time.
Absolutely. There are two scrimmages going on fields right next to each other. So you would make a good play, and you'd feel good, and then you'd look over, and someone would make an even better play. And so the competition was just so elite, and you just never knew what was enough.
And what surprised you the most about yourself from trials?
You go first. I've been going first.
Okay. Gosh.
Did the training and hard work pay off?
It did.
Obviously, it did because you made the team. but when you were there, you were like, I actually feel a lot better that, I'm here now. So yeah, like,
Yeah, I felt really good on the field physically. I think that the mental battle was obviously the hardest. That aspect was really tough. And so I think how I surprised myself the most was just, I mean, having to know, you have to have that mindset of it's not over till it's over. So, even when you're out there and you have these own personal expectations of yourself and things, one moment isn't as perfect as you want it to be, or it's just flat out bad. You just have to have that mindset of let it go, keep pressing forward. And, football's a game, it's a team game too. So it was also, if the ball's not coming my way, if I'm on the sideline, how am I still giving? How am I still making myself, like advocating for myself, for my team, for my teammates, everything. So I was just really surprised at how I was able to stay in it because your mind is racing. There's so many thoughts. Again, there's the competition aspect that's right there to show you how good they are. And then you also have your own insecurities that are creeping in. And so you have to kind of battle all that.
Yeah.
How were you able to like just, I guess you can say, channel that emotion there?
I think ultimately on the field, like actually at trial hours, say it's 8 to 5, you just had to battle through it. You had to know what was expected, just as you would in any game, in any tournament. And I kind of tried to channel if I was on the team and we are at the World's tournament, how would I act then? And so I tried not to, focus on myself too much because it would be about more than me. But after trial hours, that's when I was able to kind of decompress and feel all the feelings and have the really high highs and low lows.
Yeah, I know we had Vanita on the show a few weeks ago, maybe 3-4 weeks ago, and just kind of getting back to Vanita, like how was it like playing with her? I don't know if you guys have played with her before, but like how was it? Because I know, I mean, she's really good.
Incredibly intimidating.
Yeah.
I didn't personally get to play with her at all at trials, but I did just last week.
Yeah.
For the first time. I've played with her on teams where I'm her defender or something, but this was my first time being her receiver, and you get in your head about it. You truly do have nerves, and you want to be perfect for her because you want her to think that you're
Worth
you're
being on her
worthy.
team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Right.
I know what you mean. What about you?
Yeah, like I said, I was starstruck. But her leadership abilities and how she communicates to her team on the sideline is like up here. I don't know the word for it. But it was super helpful. Even when I would drop past, she would be like, it's all right, next one. I would still drop the next one. But I didn't make that switch till later. But yeah, she's just a really good support system. Even if she's not even doing good herself, she's still being very supportive of other people.
Yeah, I've noticed that with V. If she's doing bad, she's like she finds a way to keep everybody in the game. Because I mean, as a leader, that's kind of what you kind of gotta be that person that can keep everybody locked into the game and build everybody's morale and confidence and things of that nature.
So obviously we have some training camps coming up. We have one in May coming up. We have one in June coming up. And obviously it's 18 is going to go down to 12 active with 6 alternates. So how are you going to maintain that? Are you going to maintain the level that got you to trials, or are you going to take it up a notch just from a training standpoint?
Oh, we're going up a notch.
Okay.
You have to. Everybody's almost on the same playing field. Like, you know who you're going against, you know their strengths, you know their weaknesses. I want to be better than all of those, right? So we already hit up Ali. I'm pretty sure you're back at D1. Yep. So she's doing that. But yeah, and then I think it would help us more mentally now that we know we're going against, and again, so we know the environment, we know what it feels like. It's going to be intense, but it's a different kind of intensity at this point.
Yeah.
I think it'll be pretty fun.
Okay. And
I was gonna say, what are you most looking forward to?
Oh, the one-on-one matchups.
Good answer. What about
Yep.
you, Ash?
Yeah, absolutely same.
One-on-ones? Okay.
Who would y'all like to go 1-on-1 against?
Ooh.
All of them.
Right there.
All of them.
Okay.
We can catch this one.
So if you could call somebody out right now, who would it be?
Yeah. You just call each
She
other
might
out.
stank up a
Madison?
little bit.
Call her out.
Madison.
Yeah.
So are y'all more of
Y'all just go against each other.
like a Tyreek speed or jump ball?
Both.
Both.
Oh,
So-
yeah,
so-
Madison loves a good jump ball.
Okay, so if you could compare yourself to someone in the NFL, who would that be?
Steve Smith.
Steve Smith?
Even though he's short, he's
Okay.
super, just his tenacity, his aggressiveness. I definitely try to embody that. I'm super aggressive on the field. It's a little bit harder to do that in IFAF. but I guess that's more of my contact background coming out. But I
Gotcha.
just love, he was always going for the ball. He would fight for everything.
Very
He's just
aggressive.
a really raw dude. I like him.
Yeah. What would you say?
The first name that comes to mind is Hunter Renfro.
Hunter Renfro.
Okay.
Ooh, okay. Those are two really,
Footwork
really,
crazy.
really good
That
receivers.
boy routes is nice. He got some routes for you. That boy is nice. What do you think? What do you think you possess that he possesses?
It's kind of that, I'll go up for a jump ball. I'll
Yeah.
fight for a ball, but that's not the pass that I want.
Right.
I want the unders. I want I want to use my speed, but mostly my quickness. And I like to think that I approach the game strategically, and I think he does too.
Gotcha. That's pretty cool, man.
So we'll start with you, Ashley. What positions on offense and defense can you play?
So offense, I'm a receiver.
Mhm.
Definitely do not put me at quarterback.
No star, right?
No star. run only star. And then defensive back. So I mostly play corner, but I play a lot of safety, and I'm learning right now linebacker, and also Nate's having me rush. So I'm kind of wanting to be a utility player on defense. That's the hope.
What about you, Madison?
All of them.
All of them.
No, I'm just playing.
All of them.
No, I did play quarterback for a little bit in sevens. That feels big, and my arm is not good like it was because of javelin really ruined that one. But defense, probably everything but linebacker. I don't like having stuff going on behind me. I would much rather be a corner or a safety or something to just see the field better. Linebacker really stresses me out.
Okay.
It can be kind of stressful.
It is.
I think about that. You got to have like 360 vision
Yeah.
at a linebacker
Right.
position. You got to be able to
'Cause
see
you
what's in front of you.
You have to have
Field
trust.
behind you. You got to trust the
Yeah.
guys on the
Yeah.
side of you.
Mhm.
If something just happens to sneak over your head, like you're gonna be like, "What are you doing? Well, you're not at the right depth." Things of that nature. So
Oh, yeah.
I can see where that.
I
could
did
be
have a
very stressful.
question on this because I was keeping up with the trials and everything, and I think it was the second day. It might have been the first day. It's cold. No one said it was going to be cold. I think it rained or something.
Sunday.
Sunday.
That was
Sunday.
Sunday.
And everybody was cold.
Crummy.
Being from the South in Texas, playing here often, does the cold weather affect your play?
Not at that level. Not at that.
Okay.
No.
Not
good,
for that.
Good,
being, huh?
good.
Good
I had
answers.
I had a
I'm
poncho
shocked by
on, so
that.
I was good.
But you're also from where it's cold.
Yeah, I had me a poncho. Shoot, I'm cool.
Yeah, it was not. It was Sunday was a tough one. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But we got a different part of the evaluation on Sunday, right?
Yeah, because it
Because-
changes game.
Exactly. This game is played outside. It's played outdoors in the elements. So we were able to see who's really going to come to play on Sunday and who's going to kind of fold up and go back in their shell. So kudos to actually all the women. I feel like majority all really showed up and came with an intention. You know, no one really backed down from the challenge. They understood what was at stake. So Sunday actually was just as heated as Saturday.
I kind of
Surprisingly.
think it made everybody more relaxed.
Right.
Because you were playing in crappy weather, so nobody was like, I don't know. The intensity was high, but it was
Right.
a different kind of high. Like you were just having fun, I think.
It
So
leveled the playing field almost a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
it was nice.
Because you always get that, what is that word I'm looking for? I'm drawing a blank now. But you always get the stereotype that, they can't go into like people from the South can't go north and play. in
Oh,
the
yeah.
cold.
Yeah.
So you get to thinking sometimes because up north, 8 contacts is big. And they're like, man, we can run anybody. You know, y'all come up here and
Right.
play. There ain't no tournaments up here. And then Chicago, FFWCT Nationals in Chicago. And I guess they had a cold day and everybody was like freaking out too. And it was like, well, we lost because it was cold. Like, where it's football. You play in the cold.
Part of the game.
Yeah.
Now this kind of question is for CT, and I asked you this with the men. Well, maybe didn't ask you. When it came to cutting down this roster, talk to me about how difficult it was to cut down this roster. Because to be honest with you, when I saw the cuts, there were a lot of vets, people that had been, I don't know if they just retired or they just didn't make the team, but there was a lot of vets that didn't make the team. Like, how difficult was that, and what did that process look like?
Well, I got to start off by saying, first and foremost, shout out to all of the women who are our vets that were a part of the national team and helped build it to where it is today.
Mhm.
Because the Trailblazers are the folks who, again, allowed us to put the game in the position that it is in today. As far as how difficult it was, man, it was tough. Yeah, the men and the women both are in the same boat when I say, we invite 48 with intentions that every one of those 48 athletes is good enough to actually play and make this 18 player roster. So it was hard. It was extremely hard. But Our women's team was sitting in a little bit of a different position than our men's team. Our men's team had 1 gold at World Games. Our women's team obviously won silver and lost to Mexico 6-39, I think it was, in the gold medal game. So, we were looking for specific pieces. We were looking for a specific type of chemistry and a specific type of athlete. So that in itself, with Saeed and with Liz Sowers, both running our women's side now, they had specific type of athletes that they had in mind, and they have a specific type of offense and defense that they wanted to run schemes wise as well. So again, it's all about the puzzle pieces and getting the right folks in the right positions. KYP is what we continually say: know your personnel. You got to have the right personnel in order to do what you want to do. So that played a big role in it.
I like
the
that
selection
KYP.
process.
I'm gonna use that.
I like that too. It's pretty dope.
And talk about your coaches. He brought up Saeed and Liz. So talk about working with them from trials to obviously now. What's that experience been like for you?
I've been so impressed. I don't think a lot of people know this, but before we even hit the field, so we had done our combine work on Thursday, and then before we hit the field on Friday afternoon, Liz sat all the women down and said, "I'm a different kind of coach. I know you all have insecurities. I know you all are feeling it right now, and you're all kind of sizing each other up, and that's not what a team should be. I need you guys to trust each other, and that's hard to do when you have all these thoughts going on."
Mhm.
So she had all of us, introduce ourselves, but, say something we're thankful for. And then she asked us all to name what is something that would keep you from being present this weekend. And everyone went around and really opened up, whether it was, specifically related to football or, family back home or whatever it was. People were vulnerable. And it gave us all just a moment to realize everyone's, a human. Everyone's just feeling the same things. And by the time, we were maybe an hour later than the guys that were already out there working, but it broke down a lot of walls. And I got to know so many people that I was intimidated by. By the end, there's so many new friendships, so many new sisterhoods. And I think that really laid the foundation for that.
Ditto.
Yeah, I don't want to get too far away from your CT here. There was a question I really wanted to ask you, but I'm going to draw another brain fart here because I had it in my mind, and then she started talking.
I want to circle back to the Liz thing because again, her coaching style, I love it. Right, so she's obviously the head coach at Ottawa, back-to-back national championships at the NAIA level, and obviously she's actually played for our national team. So
flag and contact,
right?
Yep.
So she brings a completely new perspective to it all, and her and Saeed are both very different when it comes to their coaching styles. There's a good contrast between the two. So again, it's interesting to hear that. Because I didn't know about the sit down. That makes sense, because she's obviously been there and been through it. So, I'm glad that she was able to pull you all aside and kind of, level set with you.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
good.
I gathered myself.
All right,
CT.
Go ahead, Coach.
So I guess you can answer this question however you want to answer it. You can take the politically correct direction, or if you want to, however you want to answer.
What do you tee me up for? What do you tee me up for?
I'm just trying to tee you up for it. So
he wanted the real answer. That's what he's looking for.
When you look at the team last year for the United States women's team, what do you feel was the deciding factor as to why we were not able to take gold?
Oof,
I know we can
loaded question.
We can say, that Mexico team is a really, really good team. We can say that, but do we take a look back at ourselves as to what the team looked like, or was it, a combination of things?
Again, fully loaded question. There's a couple different reasons why I feel like we ended up, in the position that we ended up in. Number one, that Mexico team played absolutely lights out the entire tournament.
Right.
So hats off to them, because every single year that we've seen them, and actually even earlier that year, they ended up beating us at the rematch. So they were playing, some really, really good football. That's why I play the game. Also, we had a couple different reasons why I feel like we weren't really fully gunned, I guess you could say. So I know I believe Ashley had COVID during that game.
And someone got injured.
Michelle got hurt.
Yeah, Roke got hurt in the first game. She caught like a post, and then after that, she was out for the remainder of the tournament. So we were down 10 bodies out the gate, right? I say out the gate. Ashley actually plays. We were down to 11, but then for that championship game, for the gold medal game, we were down to 10 athletes. And Mexico has depth. They got even younger than they were when we were in Israel. So I mean, it was a combination of a lot of different things. We couldn't really do a whole lot on offense. I know early in the game we kind of put ourselves behind the 8 ball in a lot of ways, and then we just never really got out from under it. You know, I don't know if that was a couple different things with you know, I don't want to get too deep into it, but a couple different things took place where, you know, we weren't at full tilt during that game. But no excuses at all. And I think that this year is going to be a redemption year for our women.
Gotcha.
So
let me ask you, how much are you looking forward to July, especially on the women's side?
you have no idea. I mean, again, I loved following the whole Pro Bowl thing. Obviously, you know, Diana is incredible.
Yeah.
V did an incredible job at the NFC, but I'd be lying to you if I haven't said redemption has been on my mind ever since we walked off that field with the silver medal when we were in Birmingham.
Yeah.
So I've thought about it probably every single day.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And ultimately, Mexico's the team that beat us. They're the team that took the gold medal. So when we're building these teams, when we're at trials, when we're out here scouting these athletes, who are we thinking about? We're thinking about the Mexico team. We're thinking about a team that currently has gold. So I'm extremely excited. I'm excited for us to get back out there. You know, I don't know if you guys watched the Netflix documentary series about the Redeem team where Kobe Bryant led. You guys need to watch it.
I watched it the
So
first day it came out. Yeah.
It's all about the U.S. national team, our men's basketball team, when they lost to, was it Spain? I think it was, or Argentina. Spain. It was either Spain or Argentina. They came back with the Redeem team, right? And Kobe Bryant said it best. He said
he wasn't going to come.
Right. He said it's great because you lose on a global stage like that, and you think, okay, that's cool because that means that our game is growing globally because they're good enough to beat us. That's all well and good, but now we want it back. And that's exactly where we're at right now. It's awesome that Mexico beat us. That means that the game is continuing to grow, but we want it back. So that's going to be the mission coming this June or July.
And I can't say that just from an IFAF World Championship standpoint, the USA women are back-to-back champions right now. So 2024, they're going for the three-peat. Obviously, and the Continentals is something new, right?
Yep.
It's this year, so that's something that's new. Obviously, the World Games, it's associated with IFAF, but you know the IFAF World Championship right now, the United States women, they've won the last 2 years. So Mexico still does have to come to Finland to beat USA as well. Still,
I think just being the World Games, being on home turf, I think that stings a little bit more. Like.
Right.
Yeah, when IFAF is back here, but like we just lost on our own home turf.
Right.
Like that thing that does sting.
I think that's probably what makes it worse.
And Vanita did say that when she was on the show. She said that stung the most.
Yeah.
Even though she won all those first place medals everywhere else, but that World Game here, she said that still hurts.
Oh yeah. It's not fun, man. It's humbling, right? Like this is, you gotta understand too. This is our game. This is the game that it's American football. That's what it's called everywhere else because this is an American game. We're Team USA. So for us to take our lumps like that, it's very humbling. It it gets us excited because we understand that the game is continuing to grow on a global scale, which is great. But we want it back. So back to Madison and Ashley, being new to the program, just in 2023. What do you say to those young girls? Say, hey, I see you have this potential. You should keep trying or don't give up. What do you say to those? What do you say to those players? Because I've seen y'all play with some of them, but what do you say to all of them?
So some have actually already started reaching out to me, and they ask me what I do or how do I prepare, and I just tell them, I'm like, you have to find the team that's right for you. You have to make sure you're getting coached effectively and appropriately. There are a lot of coaches who don't have your best interests or are super selfish. So you have to make sure you're in the right program. And then also when you feel like you've grown with that program to reach the potential of that program, like you're playing rec, go to comp, go up, keep going up in divisions. But you have to build that foundation and then expand. Don't just go straight into pro or straight into something crazy because it's not going to work.
Okay. Ashley?
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier. I think that I would tell girls to be a student of the game, and that means to continue playing. But I think a lot of times we focus on winning, and I think there's so much that can be taken from losses as well, both playing and watching the game. So I would tell them to do that. I mean, even going out and working on your football skills, you can do so many things alone, from ladders to whatever it may be. You can do so many receiver drills, DB drills with 2 to 3 people. So just to continue to be a student of the game and to keep playing and to pay attention to the losses and to really learn from all of those experiences.
Okay.
I guess in regards to flag and football just in general, because the game on the women's side is growing at an astronomical rate, right? Like every single NFL club is involved in some way, shape, or form. There's a million teams across the country. What is it that you would say to the transfer athletes, to girls who are on the cusp of considering, should I go play flag or should I continue running track? Should I go play flag football or should I, continue with volleyball or soccer or whatever the case may be? What would be your message to those girls who are on the fence about that?
I would say do both. As a multi-sport athlete, you learn different skills and techniques in all these sports, and they can all be contributed to flag. Track with your speed, and then basketball, you're catching the ball and doing all these crazy things and the footwork with it. So do them all if you can.
And I would say, what are you most drawn to? If it is flag football, do it, because there's been a path that's been paved, and you can continue to push that path forward.
I like that.
So, name your favorite youth girl player that's 18 or under.
Ooh.
And you can't say the same person.
How can we confirm if they're 18 or under?
I'm pretty sure I'll probably know the name. So.
Ava Wallace.
That's valid.
Okay. Ava Wallace. Okay. Daryl, Brian.
I'm gonna be honest.
You
I
good?
only know Ava.
Okay. So y'all
Yeah.
can say Ava. That's fine. Now y'all
Emma
can.
Clark. Who else?
The one that tore ACL that Daryl made go viral. She's nice
Leah,
too.
Leah
Yeah.
Paulette. Who else? We can keep going down the list. I can go down the list. I didn't even touch the East Coast yet.
So who's yours, Madison?
I mean, Ava's great. Love her so much. Great quarterback. But I'm gonna honestly go with Hannah, and
Okay.
that's because of her mental. At trials, you could tell she was a little timid. A lot of people were, but you could see it in her face a little bit. And there were times where she was kind of discouraged, and I put my hand on her back and brought her into the circle one time. But we scrimmaged with them the other weekend, and she was a different person.
Right,
She
right.
brought so much leadership in that little scrimmage, and I was like, dude, you look so good. I'm so happy for you. So seeing that bounce back, that she's definitely probably somebody I'm going to keep watching and supporting.
Okay.
That was going to be my answer, so that's not fair. I did reach out to Hannah after that practice, and I said I was so happy. She was such a leader for Fury out there. I mean, Ashley's kind of more in that coaching role now, and Hannah has just taken those reins. Like, she just looks so good out there, and I told her I can't wait to see what's to come. So outside of that, since you stole that,
My
and
bad.
you stole Ava,
We can't say no more Texas Fury. It's gonna be
Those are the
biased.
ones I know.
It's gonna be
yeah,
biased.
we practice with them, so we
Oh,
love
okay.
so many of them.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, so I just met Kelsey this week. So Kelsey is 15.
Yeah, 15.
Yeah, and she played offense with us.
Yeah.
Okay.
'Cause we
Dog.
She's on the 17U team, Kelsey Coyne.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she hopped on our team because we're playing offense to help their
She's on the
defense.
17 U team.
Mm-hmm.
And she just moved up.
She's 15. Is that what you said?
Baller.
She's a
Baller
dog.
alert.
Yep.
Who did she play for Texas Fury as well?
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
I wonder.
We buy it.
Yeah, all the
Good
good.
when I go to East Coast.
Well, real quick, let me
I think-
before we jump off the topic, I want to ask you two both a question. So, again, with trials, it was a good collected group of women, right? There's a lot of vets that were there. There's some girls that were. I mean, both of you are brand new to the team, right? And you mentioned the Hannah thing. So with her, kind of be more reserved. What advice would you give to athletes that are watching this show right now for next year that haven't attended the trials? What piece of advice would you give to them? Because as an evaluator, I'm not going to say specific names, but we definitely did notice that there were some athletes that were a little bit more reserved in their shell. And I mean, that's natural, right? Being a player myself, I get that. You're still kind of trying to figure out where you fit in,
Yeah.
what your role is going to be and all that type of stuff. So for you two being brand new, but also, having that self-awareness of what's going on. What piece of advice would you give to those athletes that are coming up and may get an invite to trials next year?
Understand that everybody feels the exact same way that you do, and you're the one that's more focused on your own mistakes. No, I can't tell you a single mistake that somebody else made at trials.
Right.
I hyper-focused on myself, and I promise you, nobody's looking that hard. As long as you can bounce back from that, that's all that matters.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to buy in, because I mean, imagine that this is your team, and what do you want your team dynamic to feel like? So treat every player out there like that's your team that you go everywhere with. Those are your sisters for life, and so you just kind of have to buy into that. And then suddenly, I don't want to say fake it till you make it, but then suddenly you are close, and then suddenly you are comfortable. And so just buy into that experience. And even if it doesn't go the way that you wanted it to, and you don't make the team, you've learned so much, and then you have a whole year to prep for the next should you want to go.
Okay. I was going to tell him the final thoughts, but I mean, CT did it for me. So, what else you got, Daryl?
I don't got nothing else, man. Unless y'all got anything. Y'all got anything y'all want to before we head out? Do y'all have anything that y'all want to kind of like put out there? Any plugs, anything like that?
Definitely. So we just started a new team called OBB. It's sponsored by OB Builders. It's a construction company over in the East Coast. My dad's been working with them for years, and the owner, it's all family oriented. And he was like, "How much y'all need?" And we told him the number, and he just paid for all of our tournaments.
Wow, that's dope.
Yeah, so it also
You need a player.
OBB. Shout out OBB.
Love them.
OBB.
It was awesome.
What does it stand for?
OB Builders.
OB. What does the OB stand for? Oh, okay. I didn't know. I just too
Edit that
wanted
out.
to know.
Edit that out. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
We'll learn.
Edit that out.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. Congratulations on that,
Thank you.
ladies. And once again, congratulations on, making that preliminary roster right now. I hope you guys are able to, make it to that next step, which would be the final 12. So, I mean, based off the conversation we had today, I think you ladies, have a good, bright future ahead of yourself when it comes to making that team. Just obviously got to keep at it. Like he said, prove it. Just get out there every day, prove it. And I don't see why you guys couldn't be a part of the national team. When it comes to 2024, or is it this year?
2023.
2023.
Continentals.
Yeah, Continentals. So yeah. Well, once again, thank you guys for being a part of the show today. Like I said, you guys are instrumental to keeping this thing rolling. So I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you, CT, for flying in.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Fresh off the jet.
I
As
cannot
Lil
wait to
Wayne
lay
would
down.
say.
I cannot wait to lay down. Listen, my daughter was up last night, and she had me up, man. So like the second I hit that bed, it's over.
It's over with, huh? That's what I said. Fresh off the jet onto the Uber and right into the studio. But man, we appreciate you guys. We appreciate USA football, man. You guys are doing a lot right now for the flag football world. Not really just the flag football world. I guess we may forget that you guys are in the tackle world as well.
Yep.
So I want to thank you guys there as well. Yeah,
Of course.
cool.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us,
No
for
problem,
sure.
no
Thank
problem.
you guys. Appreciate it.
Great job, guys, ladies, guys.
Thank y'all for having to sit down.
Team.
Appreciate it.
Squad.
Cool.